These are my opinions. They are not correct or incorrect. You got your opinions, I got mine. Comment if you think I'm completely correct. Comment if you think you completely disagree. I don't care. I'm curious to hear what y'all think. Comment your thoughts. But with that being said, top 5 things we hate about this car right here. The one that probably everyone hates about these cars right here that have the VQ motor, and that is the sound. So, me personally, I don't hate the sound of this car when it's done right, which I think most people could agree on, but some people, no matter what, you know, trumpet, whatever, that's all they're ever gonna hear it as and see it as. And, you know, these exhausts can be done nice, they can, but it just takes money and a little bit of time and research. You know, most people just, you know, test pipe, straight pipe, boom, and they're done, and it sounds awful. These cars, you can't just be straight piped like a Camaro, Mustang, Challenger, Charger. You know, those aren't like the best sounding vehicles, but they sound 10 times better than this straight pipe because it's, you know, it's got a V8 grout. These V6s, you know, that raspy, like that raspy trumpet VQ, you just can't really straight pipe it. I ran straight pipe for a little bit, awful sound. Then, you know, I tried other things. I've been through multiple exhausts. You know, I've been switching the exhaust in this every few months for the past almost 2 years I've had the car, just because it's so hard to find a good sound from this car. But that being said, it is possible, you know. I'm really starting to like this sound that I'm getting from this car. But it's just that it's hard to, you know, it's difficult. You know, I wish I could just straight pipe it and call it a day and it sounded good, because, you know, that's cheaper, easier. So that's definitely the first thing. I think almost most VQ people can agree that it's definitely something that every person that owns this car has heard from someone or has experienced, is the sound. All right, we're in the car now. Another one is definitely going to be, for me, the differential that comes in these cars. I can never put power down in this car correctly, and I may be pushing around 300 wheel horsepower. I used to have the open diff, 10 times worse, obviously, but I swapped for the VLSD that came in all the S models. It's a little bit higher of a gear ratio, and, you know, it's a locking differential. But since it's that VLSD, you know, it uses fluid, it's not the best. It can wear out over time. The fluid gets hot, and basically it just becomes an open diff, some people say. So it kind of sucks, because unless I'm wanting to spend at least $1,000 just to put the grip down a little bit better, you know, I'm always going to be losing the rear, which, you know, some people like, oh, I can brake the rear a little more easy, and, you know, I like that, I drift it, but, like, I want grip. You know, if I want to put power down and I want to do a pull with someone, you know, I want that power to the ground, and I want all the grip I can get. You know, I've got 275s in the back, and, I mean, from a dig, I'm, like, pointless. I would never beat anyone from a dig, just for the fact that my car can't put the power down. So that's definitely something that's very frustrating with this car, that, you know, you almost have to change if you want that to get better. All right, next on the list is going to be something I thankfully haven't experienced yet in the car, but the most terrifying thing about these cars is the gallery gasket issue.
Can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
So I think most people are aware of the gallery gasket. If you're not, basically, it's a gasket that Nissan made paper, really cheap, and if it fails, motor could be done. Easy. No, just like that. Motor's blown, you know, something terribly wrong, and it is not an easy fix at all. I've heard most people say, after labor and costs and parts, a few $1,000s, and I don't know about y'all, but I don't have a few $1,000s to just go spend on this car. the whole point of a G37, anything VQ, I think, is cheap, fun, reliable. That's it. Like, that's what you want. It's cheap. I got this car for less than $10,000. I don't want to spend a fourth of that just fixing an issue on the car. That's frustrating. That issue wasn't fixed until about 2012. So I'm stuck with the 08, and it's hopefully not gonna have it happen. I've debated whether I should just do it on my own, but it's so difficult, and you know, I don't want to take all that time fixing it in the end too. If you know, can I get away? You don't know. Some people get away. Some people say they've never done it. They're past 200,000, 250,000 miles for some people. You know, it's just who it hits, and it's unfortunate because it destroys a lot of these cars. It's just that simple gallery gasket. That's probably one of, you know, the worst parts of this car for the fact of, you know, longevity. Just, you can't keep these things forever if you possibly don't get that replaced. So, very frustrating there. This one might be my personal least favorite of the bunch. You know, the diff is a really frustrating one, but this one has always given me kind of the most frustration with the car, and that's going to be the transmission. So mine's a 2008. It has the 5-speed automatic, so I believe it's the same ones that came in some of the G35s, 350Zs, maybe the later years, and it is not good. And I have heard only worse things for the 7-speed automatics that come in all other years of the G. It is slow. It just hangs the car in revs sometimes so bad. The 5-speed of my car, it doesn't want to shift quickly. I feel like you could shift a manual car quicker than you could shift this thing when I'm the one shifting it. In automatic mode, like when I leave it to shift itself, it is 10 times worse. Like, I have to be shifting my car to have it where I want it. You know, it bugs on those gears. That's not the worst thing, but it is not good. It's very, you know, this thing, when I see videos of other cars that are just banging through gears, I'm like, man, I can't even do that. My car takes a second just to get to the next gear. It is not good. I think most people could agree that the transmission in all G37, you know, 370Zs is probably one of its downfalls. So this is also like maybe a little bonus one. Another one would be the year. I have a 2008. 2008s are super frustrating to shop for because there's these little differences in things. The different size rotors, the biggest thing is the different ECU. The 2008s can't get tuned on Ecutech because the ECU is just a little bit different from all the other years. So because of that, I have to get tuned on UpRev, you know? 2008, just that much different, boom. I can't get tuned on Ecutech, which is frustrating, you know? It's still tuned, I can still do things with it, but Ecutech is just such it's just such a better software to get tuned on. There's so much more you can do. So that's definitely a very frustrating one. All the people that have the 08s, I feel for you, because it sucks. Thankfully, cosmetically, everything is the same, but, you know, internal, ECU, transmission, all that, it's annoying to get parts for. All right, so this one might get people a little mad, but to be honest, I think a bad part of the G37 is the community with it. These cars have really almost taken over as the takeover car. It's always been the Mustang, but, you know, unfortunately now the name that these things get is, you know, it's the takeover car. G35s, G37s, 350s, 370s. It's all, you know, it's starting to become that because these are so attainable and so cheap. A lot of people have them. So, you know, people give them such a bad name. People rice them the hell out. They always look like shit. You know, there's so many people that I feel like you know, almost any one of these cars I see in public that is modified is it just awful shape. You know, the bumper's falling off, the exhaust is like almost about to fall off on the back. Their headlights are like beat to shit and about to, like, you see these cars. That's why people hate these cars, because of the community. The people that, kind of ruin them really ruins it for all the other people that try to modify it good. And I'm not trying to be a purist and say like, oh, I don't get the bad name or whatever, but it really is true for a lot of it. This car, the community that comes along with it, people are annoying, and people think they try to defend the VQ to the max sometimes, and sometimes I can't, because some people, the community with it. With that being said, it's not like it doesn't mean everyone. These cars are done beautifully sometimes. The 370s sometimes, like, I just can't believe how good they make them sound and look. It's just, I'll be making a 5 things I love, because I love this car so much. In the end, it's little things, kind of. There's some majors. They got gallery, gasket, transmission. It sucks, but I love this car. I love modifying it. I love everything about it. It's such a fun car. And if you're considering getting one, don't let these determine you from not. Obviously try to stay away from the things. Try to get a car that's not in the gallery gasket issue and all that. But it's a great car. It's a great first fun driving car. These things can get pretty fast. You don't need 500 horsepower off the bat like some people think. These make 280 wheel, stock, which it's not slow. It's fun. Like, I don't need 500 horsepower to have fun. It's a fun car, and it's great for your first, fun driving car. If you disagree, let me know. Say something in the comments. I'd love to hear what y'all have to say as well. What you think of everything I said, and, your own thoughts. So appreciate y'all watching. I love you.